Well, I'm absolutely certain a lot of us want to get to LAN as quickly as possible. There will be a certain team called SMPR that want to see a couple more series of online gameplay, but they've got to get through this one in order to force a tiebreaker series, Johnny. I mean, we're looking at this one. We already know just how good Seiko was in that previous series.
Yeah.
Just SMPR just looking at this and all right, hopefully there was enough time where he's going to at least not be, well, at that level.
Yeah, and it's really up to, I think, Archie to be that guy for SMPR. He has before. This is a chance early on. Reads the down bounce, but Metza's not going to let it come all the way down to him. It's going to be tough. We've seen Archie have those outstanding performances, but I really feel like Endpoint are just so much better at defending as a team and helping each other out to make it difficult for Archie to have any outplay potential when he finally arrives in front of that Endpoint goal.
If we're making, you know, a sort of long look back, as we do see at least an attempt here, it's going to be difficult to find a real scoring angle. Relating Wave does do exactly that, and suddenly, rather than going direct for the backboard, they increase the width of the field and find this.
Yeah, Seiko just going to get an easy pickup here. No goalkeeper in position for SMPR. You know, you got to make those risky runs for boost occasionally. You got to pick a good time to do it. And, you know, when the ball's in the back corner, sometimes you feel a bit overly safe as a defender. You think, okay, that's fine. They're not going to get it through from there. And then they do before you can get back from your boost grab. A very spectator-esque defending. Oh, that's the dead ball 50. And another one almost, but Archie's able to usher it into the corner and start a counter-attack for SMPR.
Off the backboard, who's going to be first this? Archie wants to take the first touch, lays it off to his teammate. Unfortunately, the bad side of that play is that it takes so long to set up that everyone in Endpoint ready for it. Metza right into the awaiting car of Archie. They go off the backboard. Oh! What a hit!
He's not done. He's not done. Did he waste all his plays earlier on? No, he didn't. Oh my goodness, look at the placement. That's absolutely disgusting from Seiko. Poor Casio in the net, hoping that it's going to be a soft one coming towards him, hoping it's maybe going to hit the bar. Of course, that's not what Seiko had in mind. What a banger from the double tap, high above the net.
Well, usually highlight reels are supposed to take multiple months, maybe years. Seiko's getting one as quickly as possible. Archie's got one back as quickly as possible. And for as good as the goals were that we've seen, this one counts all the same.
Yeah, Metza panicked a bit there. He had someone right behind him. He didn't want to get demoed as he was trying to clear this ball into the corner. What he didn't see is that Archie's right there waiting for him to make a good touch in that direction. Archie with a good read on the play there. And I think just perfect timing, really, to get a goal back, because Endpoint must have absolutely exploded in person there at the boot camp after Seiko scored that previous goal. Bar denies another one for Endpoint. That one is something that SMPR knew about. They're all getting demoed, though. Just like the first series, Endpoint have crushed them. Not just in scoreline, but with the physical play.
You're at home and you're sick of us talking about Seiko? Tough, because we're about to talk about Seiko again. 19 goals today thus far. 1.46 goals per game. That's against ridiculous. The best that Europe's got to offer.
And anything above 1 goal a game is impressive for high-level Rocket League, but usually when you get into playoffs like this, you start to see that number drop down a bit lower. And the fact that he's actually climbed and got 1.46 now, make it a bit higher. He's got 2 at this game.
Can we get an update on that one, please?
He's got 3 now in this game, so it's just climbing even higher. Seiko just does not stop scoring, but the assists are coming through as well from his teammates. Endpoint really firing on all cylinders here with all 3 players.
1.54, by the way. Thank you very much, T-Rex. Very, very much appreciated. He's only had 2 games today that he's not scored in. It is unreal.
Third.
We're gonna find different descriptors for him, but quite frankly, I think we're going to exhaust the dictionary at this rate. He's been that good. Tries to go for high-low pinch. Not going to quite happen. Still 2 minutes left. And Metza. Again, as always, this is sort of the Metznaris role. Not getting spoke about too much. He just makes sure that he does his job well. We'll hope that he doesn't quite have a few more panic plays. That's really been his only downside thus far in today's tournament. Actually, he's being kind of caught out here. I think he might have been getting demoed or getting hit. I'm not entirely sure what's happened to the goal line.
Yeah, Seiko... Probably, rather, Metzner probably expected Seiko to get a better 50-50 there, so he's tried to move forward and anticipate that. But he ends up, again, just off the goal line underneath the ball. We've seen it a few times today. Defenders trying to cheat forward and anticipate where the 50-50 is going. It's always a risk to do that, as we all often see on kickoffs. Still, Endpoint lead. Not a comfortable lead by any means.
No, certainly not. Only one goal. Less than 90 seconds left here in game one. Shot set. That's going to be very dangerous. Communication needed between Seiko and Metza to know who's going to go. Make sure you don't have that double commit. Shot set sitting very deep. Means he can pop the ball over to himself. Now lays it off. Is there anyone on that far side? Looks like Shot, but we know can get those very subtle touches to lay off a pass. Likely that he could always try and find somebody. Here he goes yet again. Zero boost. He's gone for the flying scarecrow, apparently. Just trying to scare everybody away. Seiko, not scared of anybody. Wants the flip reset. Was not far off it.
I love that. He's just never given up on the play, even if it looks like it's getting away from him. He uses the last drop of boost to get a reset on the ball. And there's another one. I mean, every single play here, Seiko's just making ridiculous touches. And what a shot from Metza. 4-2. 2-goal lead reinstated for Endpoint. And as always, they are not afraid to get the whole squad up for attack. That's Metza diving in as third man, but he knows he's got a clean touch, confidently goes for it, and sends it home.
Quick reminder as well, it was during this same day that we looked at that game one in this previous series, and Endpoint could not hit the target for anything.
Yeah.
And yet, we're getting shots like that. They're not even bouncing anymore. These are the sort of goals that get you extra points in the freestyle tournament we had 2 weeks back. 15 seconds left. Endpoint right back to where they were. Relating Wave, he wants to go on the board. He's not going to quite do so with a shot like that. There we are. Game number one secured. Endpoint letting Semper know that there is no way that this is just going to get handed to them. If Semper want to take this tournament victory, they're going to have to go through and on-form Endpoint.
Yeah, it continues to impress. Seiko, every single game, every single series, he just keeps pulling out ridiculous plays. And you're not seeing mistakes, really, from Relating Wave at the back. Again, we did have one goal go against Endpoint here because Metsonoris crept a bit too far off the line. But these are not difficult mistakes to fix. And Endpoint have been very quick to identify what they're doing wrong. What a goal that was. Get this one underway with Seiko. Absolutely smacking it into the top corner. They definitely have to look out for that goalkeeper positioning from Endpoint when Semper are counter-attacking. That's the one moment that we sometimes see them a bit too far forward, but once Endpoint have been forced back, they're very good actually at just absorbing that pressure and communicating effectively in defense. You know, we talked about or heard from Monkey Moon that he thinks that's the key to victory today. So Endpoint, they've got that in spades. They've never, by at least from what we can see, got problems with the communication.
Absolutely not. So game two underway. Opportunity for Endpoint to get even closer towards a second tournament victory, a second championship to their name. Semper, it's all about finding that extra level, because right now they've been performing at a great level today, but it's still not going to be enough. This is a big test about whether or not they do have a sort of ceiling that not only can win you a tournament like this, but maybe win you a tournament over in Stockholm. What we're seeing from Endpoint, we know that they've got that ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, they've got one of the absolute best first men right now in Seiko, and maybe the best, definitely one of the best third men in Relating Wave, and Metza doing everything in between. And that's what you need from a team right now. You need players who are star players in every single role. Seiko being completely unleashed today because he's got so much faith in his teammates behind him. We kind of saw a similar thing from Endpoint last season, although in a different way. Yeah. It was Virtuoso with the demos, not Seiko with the fancy mechanics and the crazy solo outplays.
Well, that's what makes you believe so much. The fact that Relating Wave and Metza can cover a two-man rotation if they need to.
Yeah.
Seiko's done a fantastic job of not hanging them out to dry in that sort of position. But they've, you know, they know how to cover that rotation by themselves whilst they've got a player that's out there doing their own thing. This has been a very, very big roster move for them. Off the backboard, here's Archie. And there's the small shots that you need to find the corners on. Shosette wants to give his own attempt, and it's still kept out.
Great save by Relating Wave, and even the save before that wasn't an easy one. Endpoint defending well in game 2. They do have Seiko rotating back to help defend as well. It's a lot easier to play with someone like Seiko than a demo main who's gone for extended periods of time. Seiko is recovering quickly every play. And look at the placement once again. It was top left last game, top right this game. Seiko just does not miss. Shosette, however, probably wishes he hit that ball somewhere else. You can't be doing that when Seiko's coming at you.
Can't do that against most players, let alone a player like Seiko. Frankly, I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't try and get a couple of flip resets anyway. Seiko adds yet another one to his tally. He's not going to have a third game where he's not scored in just yet. And SMPR, oh, that's a big bounce. Again, you know, chances few and far between. I go straight back to the only opportunity. Shosette, there was nobody back, and he almost overplayed it in a bit of a way. Took far too long. Needed to just power that towards the top corner.
They probably expected there to be someone in the net, but by the time he noticed that, he'd already committed to that controlled air dribble. So he's trying to take the ball to the backboard. Metsunora's fake the flip reset. Archie managed to read that one. Backboard interception. Shoset's completely out of boost. Picks up 100 on the way by in midfield, though. Seiko able to clean that up and transition back into the orange half just as effortlessly as he scores into top corners. What a touch by Archie, but Seiko again, as he's recovering, making himself relevant. Now wait, where's Castillo? Archie gonna come right back in for this one himself, and he scores it. Definitely a reluctance to get the whole team forward. Castillo got demoed there. Archie had to come back in on the rotation, but he does put it in. SMPR tie.
Endpoint have shown a couple of weaknesses. They keep panicking on the defensive line. But as you mentioned, SMPR have not taken advantage of it in the way that they probably could have done by now. It's certainly something that could have been further exploited. One each, though. SMPR will be happy enough with that. Archie lays it over to Shosette. A little bit more control or a little bit more power, but going between those two options certainly was not the way to go about that. Seiko pinches against his own backboard. Let's team some space. Shosette over to Archie off the backboard. That's going to be an awkward bounce. Castillo couldn't get there on time. The sort of shot that always looks weird when you miss it, but simple enough. Just couldn't get to the ball. There's no one. Oh, Archie stuck it under the keeper.
Oh, what a pass by Shosette. Unconventional, certainly. Effective. Absolutely. He actually just lands on it, and it comes right back out to Archie, who continues to impress with his placement of the shots. Well played, Shosette, making some distance between Archie and the goal that he can easily beat his man to. And they are now leading in game 2.
Oh, how much longer, though? That one was dangerously across the face of the net. Now back on target again. Castillo keeps it away. We'll now look to follow, trying to read where Metza wants to place the ball. Shosette wiped off the field. Now back over to Relating Wave. He's got to go for net. So bouncing awkwardly, and Shosette knew that he had to make contact. Endpoint have proven that awkward doesn't mean a lack of a goal-scoring chance. I leave Shosette by himself, though, at least for the time being. Metza couldn't get contact. Called off actually by Relating Wave off the backboard. Oh! Hits the crossbar, and it's still 2-1. Endpoint unrelenting at the moment. They want to find this one more opportunity. They don't want to give SMPR any extra looks to get back into this series. Off the backboard one more time. Now Relating Wave on the chase. Castillo, low boost, has to get hold of some small pads. He's done just enough. He's got the reinforcements. He had less reinforcements. Seiko has made it 2 each.
Dropped out pass comes in for SMPR at one end. Castillo didn't get there in time. Happens at the other end for Endpoint, and they do have Seiko arriving before the ball bounces up out of reach. Endpoint more willing to commit that last man. Of course they would do so in the final 15 seconds. They've done it again. SMPR, you feel like they need this, or it's going to be such a long way back. It's already Endpoint attacking as the game comes to a close. Maybe Castillo has a chance, though, on the counter by himself. Seiko gets a good touch on it. It won't bounce well for SMPR. Overtime beckons.
Absolutely massive for SMPR. This goal very well keep them in or put them as far away from the European Grand Prix as they have been this entire time out. Seiko got a bit of time. Well, not any more shots there. And he's just very happy to just get over there, throw yourself at the play, and make sure that Seiko does not get any amount of time to really set himself up. But Archie's got blue cars swarming all over him. Still manages to escape, goes to the ceiling. Now he's got it over to Castillo. That's a shot on target. Not really the way that you're going to put that one past this Endpoint defense.
Wow.
And now a drop down pass. Everybody is finding such creative angles to get to each other in offense and to defense.
This is just fantastic from Endpoint. They're showing that they know keeping control of that ball is the key under pressure when they don't have a lot of boost. They're playing little touches to each other in the defensive end, right next to their goal. Looks dangerous, but they're communicating so well that none of these plays are catching anyone off guard. Here's Archie. He's denied by Seiko. Almost at ceiling height with the counter-attack. And more of a hopeful shot there from Castillo. Unlikely to get a bad save out of Endpoint at the moment.
Might have been better off trying to convince his teammates to go for the half rotation, pass it over to him for the shot. Out of the way, almost a minute and a half played. Seiko off the back. Oh, he's got another one. Hat trick for Seiko, and he's got his team 2-0 in this series.
Am I watching a Seiko training pack right now? What is going on? Every single game, he's just scoring unbelievable goals in a grand final. Right before the first LAN in 2 years. The stat just keeps on getting more ridiculous. 1.64 goals per game on the day. And I think over 1 goal per game has been an absolute banger as well. This is just crazy. Get the man out of free play. It might as well be. I mean, that's what he's making SMPR look like. Inanimate objects would do similar tasks against play like this. There's just nothing you can do. Perfect finish after perfect finish for the Wonder Kid from France.
I don't have anything to add. Seiko is just operating at a whole other level to everybody at the moment. It leaves one question only, which is, what's he going to be like on LAN? I'm so interested to find out what that's going to be, because we're fairly confident Relating Wave's going to be good on LAN. We've seen little bits from him across some British tournaments. We know Metanoris can perform at a LAN. Seiko will be the question mark, but right now he is putting an exclamation mark on this tournament. This is the Seiko show, and will he add yet another highlight reel, or can SMPR find anything to stop him?
I mean, 4-0 looks likely at this point. Let's see what SMPR can do to stop that. Try and get at least a game on the board to make it look more respectable. They've played well today, but Endpoint have played better in pretty much every aspect. I'll tell you who I'm getting vibes off Seiko at the moment is Season 5 Justin coming into that LAN. Same thing. Guy's never played a LAN. What's he going to be like? But this is exactly what I remember watching Justin coming into Season 5. I'll honestly say that I was extremely confident that he's going to be able to pop off in a LAN setting, and I don't know why, but let's get the same vibes off Seiko. But obviously, this Endpoint bootcamp and the face cams definitely help us feel confident about that.
He's about as close as he can be as he goes for yet another challenge. Remember, only 2 games that he has not scored a goal in just yet. That's across the entirety of today's proceedings. Metza trying to get his team out from this position. SMPR, I would like to see, a full-on aggressive mindset. I want to see where they're positioning their third, because they've been finding small gaps, but it's exactly that. It's a small gap, small windows of opportunity to try and send them for a goal. And they haven't been confident enough just yet. When we see Endpoint do it, they are more than confident. Here's the chance. Castillo, he's got the crossbar. Oh! He's more than ready.
Oh, what a play by Archie. It looked like Castillo just squandered a wonderful opportunity here. Archie bumps the goalkeeper, pops the ball into the backboard. Should have been scored by Castillo, but at least Archie's kept ball cam on, turns around and puts it in on the rebound. Great stuff off the ball there from Archie. We haven't seen a lot of that from SMPR today, but the bumps coming in clutch in game number 3 of the second series.
Archie bumps the ball over into Metza. SMPR still not that far back, and only 10 good minutes away of Rocket League. Oh, that was so close. Again, shooting accuracy kind of the plague right now for SMPR. It's always been top corner, no bounces for Endpoint. SMPR just need to zero that in. Here's Archie's opportunity. Too high up. Casio goes in very late. He's on 0 boost. That's exactly why. 0 boost as well for Chaussette. You need to keep an eye on those boost meters. Make sure they're not going to get caught out because we know how quick Endpoint will at least go for those counter attacks. Now Seiko over on the wall. Chaussette more than ready. Archie can actually follow that. Archie has at least attempted to. If it was a bit higher, it might have been a bit more followable, but Endpoint not looking quite as confident this time around. A lot of missed hits thus far. Chaussette, 2 players needed to stop him.
This is a lot better from SMPR, much like when they turned around the first series. It's about that midfield pressure. They're really just going for it now. They're not hanging back and waiting for opportunities that are obvious and clean. You've got to take chances when you're up against a team like Endpoint. You've got to really just go occasionally to let them know that you're willing to do so at any given moment. Relentlingwave's not got a good touch on that clear. Will get helped out by Seiko after Archie's backward pass fails to reach its intended target. Endpoint quickly transition, already putting dangerous shots on net. Relentlingwave will get first to this, but really important bump onto him there. Archie catches it on the back wall.
SMPR need to be so worried about these touches they're getting in defense. They've had a few. Definitely cost them in the last game where they just mishit it and it dropped straight over to Endpoint in a very workable position. Now going to be put right back into there. Archie.
Oh my.
That was brave. I think that's the answer to it. Now he's got a chance to score. Go straight for the backboard.
Oh wow. Look at Seiko. Just as an Archie double tap to contend with, he catches it and then just turns it into a perfect touch and dribble down the line. Making moves in defense as well. It's not just about those big double taps at critical moments for this guy.
Archie up. Was good enough with the challenge to lure Casio to at least keep some pressure on. Chaussette over to Archie. Wants the pinch. Doesn't quite find it. It's good enough, though, to at least clear to midfield, but that's right back to Seiko. Off the backboard, double tap.
Oh!
And one of the only times where that first touch let Seiko down and did not set him up. There's no one. Those poor touches from SMPR. They struggle to get rid of it in this position. It allows Endpoint to keep that pressure going, and they almost found a goal for it. Fantastic save from Metza to keep it 1-0.
And a nice little angle there from Archie with a pinch clear. Finding a way through the defenders in front of him. Still under pressure, though. Not a lot of boost in defense for SMPR. High ball is your absolute worst nightmare when you're sitting in net on low boost, and Seiko's at the halfway line. They've only got to survive for another 10 or so seconds.
Metza can't get the ball past Chaussette. And quite a few players have been forced to hear that on occasion. Archie wants to make it too. He's gone and done it. SMPR show themselves signs of life. And 2-0, and more importantly, they've kept Endpoint from scoring. This will be massive for the mentality moving into the rest of the series.
Yeah, still though, Endpoint do look dangerous. I love the start of this game from SMPR. The increased pressure, that presence that they had in the midfield, that's what they need to be doing if they're going to keep a kind of a 50-50 matchup here. As soon as they end up in defense, Endpoint look dangerous every single attack, and they overcommitted with I think 10 seconds to go, but outside of being a goal down with 10 seconds left, that's not going to happen for Endpoint. Again, they're pretty good at, I think, going for plays that look risky, but they can actually make it work, as we've seen several third-man commitments work for them today. That being said, SMPR do put one on the board. We do still have a competitive grand final here. Not a moment too late, though, as Endpoint getting a third game here makes it almost unimaginable to see a SMPR win.
Hashtag Seiko didn't score party. It's only his third time. And SMPR will want more of those. Direct, give us this out, by the way. Archie is still participating in 92.8% of his team goals. So it's definitely the offense is going through him right now. They just need to find... I feel like this is good. Like, I like what they're doing. I like that they're getting opportunities. I don't think they're missing those. It is just keeping this confidence, because whenever we see them finally aggressive enough to go and send that third man, we equally get a lot of time where they're just going, okay, we don't want to do that. Like, it's working. Have confidence. Have a bit of belief that you can get those chances.
Yeah, it's all about just making those quick recoveries and communicating them at the same time. If you're first into a play for SMPR, and you're out of the game briefly, you know, just making sure you got a little bit of boost to get back into the halfway line area, and telling your team that, okay, I'm gonna be there in a second or two, just don't do anything too crazy till then. That's what will allow the third man to have the confidence to play slightly more aggressive. Whereas, you know, if third man doesn't think he's going to have backup and he moves in, that confidence is gone. CeX misses the target here, and he's gone for placement there. You know, he didn't hit that hard. Still misses the target though, even with the shot being placed as a priority.
Metza, can he get the reset? He's got past one. Oh! Archie keeps it away, but now he's going to need to recover. At least he's helped out by the fact that Seiko couldn't wrap the car around enough to get good shots. Endpoint, though, still getting a lot of those one-on-one situations. They've done a fantastic job of controlling the ball on the transition. Back out, CeX. Just kind of drops over to himself. Looks like he was in two minds about how he wanted to play that one. And this is where SMPR have been lacking. Again, clears not good enough, and they're right back into their own corner. But they could finally have got it. That took a lot longer than it probably should have done.
We did see a couple of good reads, though, from SMPR. You know, they're giving that space in the midfield back to Endpoint. They've had some impressive infield pass reads, so what Endpoint have tried in the past couple of attacking plays not come to fruition. Early challenge from CeX. See Seiko in the air, you get up nice and early. Just make sure you get contact on the ball. Now he's back to deflect Relating Wave's shot into the corner. End-to-end stuff. The ball just following CeX at the moment. He's getting a lot of action here in this game.
Seiko's easy to defend against. Just see where he is and see where your top corner is. Just be in that sort of range, you know, nice and easy.
Between there.
Yeah, as long as you know where that is, you might have a 90% chance of saving the shots.
It's like you're playing Heat Seeker when you go against Seiko. You know the ball's going to end up in the top corner, so
yes,
just be there, be ready for it. Just the only problem is which one is he heading towards.
Seiko had to get that.
Archie should be scoring this. So he's gone for a place shot as well, though, and easily saved by Seiko. The placement for SMPR not working out. I'd much rather see them just smash these shots on target. At least then if you're missing, you've got the defense in a scramble.
I like to see them smash them just to make something different, because Endpoint are aware. You're not going to get them to panic well like this. If you get them in a position where they think, okay, this could either be an outplay or there's going to be him just going straight for net, then maybe you can get some more panics out of them, which hasn't really been uncommon. SMPR have not leaned into that strength just yet. Still time for them to do so, though. No goals. SMPR victory puts this entire tournament right back in the balance. Much of a chance to turn provider. What a, wow. All right, that was no messing about. There wasn't even an option for the shot to come in.
Yeah, great read by Metsonoris on the infield pass. Now here he is trying to get his own rebound. Almost there, but just out of boost at the last second. And the defense are able to get it clear. Feels like another one of those games where it's almost that must-win territory. It's not an easy bounce, and Archie's missed the read on it. Tough one to know for sure where it's going to be headed. Archie's been unreal today, though, so I'm sure a lot expected him to score. Now he does! Minute and 20 to go. Archie with a much easier read on that bounce. And SMPR do lead 1-0.
No guesswork required for Archie this time round. Just pure power. Drops it down. SMPR have got the goal. And we could be heading right over to a 2-each scoreline. How is SMPR going to deal now with the last 80 seconds? It's off the backboard. Archie, he's starting to take over.
Okay, Archie getting a second one. That was a very confident double as well. He doesn't slow down for a moment. He doesn't give Seiko any chance to intercept that on the goal line. He knows what he's got to do, and he makes it count. Finally, we're getting a response. We're getting a champion from SMPR stepping up to take on Endpoint Seiko. Archie going for another one here. Reset landed. Flick did not.
Here's Metza over off the backboard. CeX's already around. This is a time that SMPR can afford to be a little bit more defensive-minded. Off the backboard, here's Relating Wave. There wasn't enough power, and it gave it up. Kept out a second time. The ball pinballing around. A miss in the midfield means that there's a bit of breathing room now for SMPR. CeX just dips the ball past the oncoming defender. Now off the backboard. This is for free. Can't quite do it. That leaves Cassio by himself. He has to make sure he doesn't get hit. He managed to do exactly that. 30 seconds on the clock. Relating wave over to the wall. And Archie reads the wall hit very nicely. Easier to do in defense than it is in offense. 19 seconds. It's a flurry.
Oh!
It's 2-1. We have got an incredible end to this game on its way.
Relay wave pops the middle of the wall. Metza fakes the shot while centering it to Seiko. Again, it's all three players from Endpoint getting involved late in the game, putting deadly shots on target. They got 16 seconds left in an attempt to tie this one. Relating wave might be able to get a run ahead demo. He does! Archie can't stop that one. Endpoint tie.
They did it against Dignitas. They do it against SMPR. Metza right down the middle. 2 each. And for SMPR, they've got to turn this around. They've got to not think about it. They've got to go and get this next goal, or they will be right up against it, and it'll be tournament point to Endpoint.
There's 5 on the clock. It's all Endpoint right now. They're attacking again. No boost for Metza. He's going to stay active anyway. Gets a nice pop high for Seiko. No double for him, but here's Relating Wave. Uncontested shot. He's going off the backboard. No touch. Oh, it's going to be a complete miss from everybody. Into overtime we go.
I almost knocked over my green screen. That's how much I recoiled back. Seiko already up. Looking for their 3rd goal, uncontested by SMPR. A SMPR that are reeling after seeing 2 goals quickly go against them. That's a good bounce to them, though. They can keep this pressure going. Archie sets up. Nobody on that far side, though, to really take the shot. Cassio's in a much better spot. Archie back to Cassio. And Seiko still makes his car big enough.
Great save by Seiko, just getting as close to the ball as he can. Had to just stop dead and hope it's going to come towards him. And Seiko's last man coming in sideways to get a preferable angle to clear the ball into the corner. He's taken out of the game. Archie going to try and place this into the top corner.
No!
All the way himself.
No!
Deep pull
way!
shot. Semper make it work. Look at Archie go. Everybody's expecting the back post pass. And he just goes all the way to the top shelf. Just that bumps him into it, but no assist will be credited, as Archie's the only one who touched the ball. SMPR tie the series after Endpoint came back late in game number 4.
SMPR just heard us talking about how they never send enough players to score the goal. And they took it as an insult. What a way to go and win that overtime. There it is. I just got it in the shout in my ear. Timeout Endpoint. So it's their opportunity to make it 6-0. Where they gone? All right, they're in the background. So I couldn't find them for just a second there. Oh, Johnny, what a breather. I'm glad they took the timeout. I need this more than anyone else.
Shogun, stretch your legs, man. You've got a minute. Come on, take out Endpoint. Take out the Endpoint playbook. Do some squats. I don't know. Just get your body moving. It's the Endpoint way. It's worked for them before.
You know, I'm taking the advice, mate. I'll be over here. There we go. Wow. We're not even offline yet, mate. We've still got all of that to come. What a special series. What an incredible way to round out the online era of Rocket League. And SMPR have proven to us something that we were desperate to see. That in adversity, staring them directly in the face, they've answered it. They answered it twice, despite the fact that maybe the second one was of their own doing.
Yeah, they definitely had to. I think SMPR, they had to make up for that second goal. It was a pretty risky kickoff, about the closest sheet you can do.
All right, they're on their way back. Here we go. I'm sitting down with them.
Yeah, nice to get the upper body moving side to side. That's clearly a Metzenauer's technique. I'm going to do that one next time I get tilted for that game. I'm actually quite glad you told me to do that, Johnny. You know when you like tense up your legs when you're sitting? I was doing that, and my legs are killing me right now. Well, I've been standing the whole time, so I mean, I'm taking the Endpoint strategy to the next level. But man, SMPR would have been really, really upset if they lost that game there after such a risky kickoff, an unnecessarily risky kickoff. They should be just trying anything safe at the end of the game when they've already got the 1 goal lead. But as we know, kickoffs are a position that pro Rocket League players like to gamble on, and they wanted to get as much out of it as possible. Archie really just making up for it there. He's definitely the main contender in offense for Seiko today. Hello, Shogun. Nice of you to sit down and join us again. But
cheers, mate.
Archie does so much more than that as well. He really is just a one-man army for SMPR, putting in so many saves there. Almost actually saved the kickoff goal if it wasn't for Relating Wave being there to bump him as he lunged to deny Metsonorce at the near post. Who knows? Maybe he gets a nice pinch off the post. Impossible to say now, of course. Yeah, Archie able to do as much as Seiko does in offense there, and also as much as Relating Wave does in defense at the same time. It's pretty much up to SMPR's his teammates here to just not make any mistakes.
Yeah, but Archie's not been as proactive. He's still been, getting a lot of the percentage of his team's goals. And Seiko is going to take an early shot. That should be kept away. It's been less of a case of him being quiet and not attempting things and just being kept quiet. Every time he tried for anything, instantly he had a Relating Wave right in front of him. Here's Seiko, off-angle shot from him. Didn't really generate any power. This game is huge. Whoever wins this gets themselves a series point. Your Endpoint, you're over there looking for a championship, your second one. Drop down, that was awkward. A little bit further back. Seiko there just in time. Endpoint, much more up against a formidable foe this time around. Oh, that's an awkward bounce. Seiko, ready and waiting.
Yeah, Relating Wave communicated early he didn't have that. Now Metsa, free shot at the other side. Cassio's going to get in the way of that one. Not sure if Metsa was trying to catch Cassio pre-jumping here. Oh, he's into the back post as well.
How has this not gone in?
A great rotation by Metsa, keeping active in offense at both sides of the box. Endpoint attacking from all angles. Now the ball's actually not hit the ceiling, and that's caused everybody to miss the read. And almost in it goes, surely! Seiko's going to make sure of it, but not before it bounces off both posts. And as the lateral movement comes into play in offense, Endpoint are the team in profit.
It's the really horrible one, because Cassio's got to watch the ball go right past him a second time. Well, Endpoint, they tried a couple of different ways of getting the ball past the net. I don't think that was the one that they were expecting to work. It is 1-0. It is now Relating Wave looking for his chance to almost wiped out Cassio. Well played there from him just to stay away from the oncoming hit. Now the other side of the field, Archie didn't get the ball tapped down for a teammate. Demo play still playing an effect in this series. Seiko again coming in off the off angle. Seems like he wants to stay close to play more than he wants to predict the play, and so far it has worked.
Yeah, you can afford to do that as the furthest man forward. You can take those risks. It's only when you've got that decision to make as the second man in a play, or especially the third man in a play. You don't really want to be trying to cheat forward and anticipate a play that is essentially a 50-50, which the other team could just as easily control as you do. We see a lot of that from Seiko. Gets to show off his anticipation and gets to show off his reads often as the just free bird of Endpoint. They've unleashed him. Lovely back pass there towards the man, but Archie continues on with a bump, and seen a lot of that in this series. The challenge and the big block isn't as effective as just driving ahead and bumping the player in front of you. Seiko's put that on net. That's going to catch up to it. It's good positioning as the third man. The touch is less effective though. Back in the middle for Seiko. Archie's there.
Yeah, everybody seems to have just given up on individual outplays like we got in the first two games. And just decided, all right, this isn't working. I'm just going to get rid of you. I'm bored of seeing you now. There were 2 minutes left. SMPR still trailing by a goal to nothing. How much longer is that going to last when Archie can do stuff like this?
Whoa!
Cassio, I think he got tripped up on his way looking for it, but still Archie almost made the play work. Now Cassio back to Archie again. Going to get a second shot at this. Wins the challenge. Up goes Cassio. And well positioned to make sure that the car was immediately in the way of the shot.
We'll be talking a lot about Relating Wave's defense today, but you see consecutively there, Seiko and then Metsa making big plays as well. Relating Wave shoots low, doesn't catch for anybody pre-jumping from SMPR. This is extremely disciplined goalkeeping and boost management from them. When will Endpoint mix it up with a boom? Seiko with the mind game. He's past two. He's going to go to the bump. Archie manages to dodge it. What a play. And now on the transition, Archie denied by Relating Wave.
And that's something that you're going to have to keep contending with. Just because you got past it once, just because you stopped Seiko once, does not mean you're done with him just yet. Looks to try and get another attempt at this. Well, not anymore. He is very much off the field after that demo. And that seems to be almost the only way you can really stop him. And even then, he's right back over into it. 1 minute left. SMPR still need that goal. It's a good challenge win from Castillo, and the rest of the team's going to come and join him.
Oh, not the bounce. Relating Wave wanted. What a save by CeX. Relating Wave really left him out to dry there. He must have thought that ball's going to bounce upwards, but it's just gone straight into the middle. Not a lot of time left for SMPR. They're trying to pass in field, but the interceptions are coming through. Oh, what a bump! Castillo and CeX have been at war for decades, but this one definitely hit home. What a clattering touch, and the shot was just fast enough to beat the recovering player.
Well, that was a sharpshooter moment, and CeX was annihilated by that play. And that could be good enough now for SMPR. They've got to get another one. They were able to score the last clutch goal in overtime. I hope not even to see that, but first things first, they deal with the pressure from Endpoint. Not the best first touch from CeX. It's still recovered, though, from Relating Wave. Archie, very high up ball. Castillo will give chase. Oh, it's a miss. Josette will be by himself, at least only temporarily. Luckily for him, it's over in the corner. Not too threatening from there. Relating Wave takes his time. He's probably going to look to try and put this ball onto the ground. But Castillo, he's not liking that idea. He's got ideas of his own. I don't know where the rest of the team was. I think everyone else was very happy to settle for overtime.
Can Endpoint keep up the streak of teams winning after calling a timeout? It's 5 for 5 today. This is the 6th game. SMPR trying to put an end to said streak. They still have their timeout available, if I'm not mistaken. CeX, flip reset. It's gone to the back post and no one's there. SMPR have got everybody back here, but Endpoint not afraid of just piling everybody forward to counter that.
Now their chance. Over to the corner. Blue steal, player gone. That's nice, efficient play from Josette. Choose to follow. Castillo very vastly outpaced to that ball. Can't afford to make that mistake again because it's left his team open. Infield shot not very well dealt with by Metza. Pressure ramping up over here at Wasteland. Archie can't quite get the boost or the ceiling reset, so he can't follow that one up. Instead, it's up to Josette. Archie steals midfield boost. He'll still be around. Looking for that one big play, that one big demo. Both teams are still after it. Oh, what a shot! Josette gives his team series points.
Wow, what a free flip from Josette. Oh, look at the placement as well. SMPR, 3 straight wins. Endpoint have looked brilliant in all these games, but SMPR are just finding a way. And it's all about just getting those men forward, getting those cars into the final third, and taking your chances. What a finish by Josette to send Endpoint into a losing position.
What a reminder by Josette. He's sick of it. We've talked about Archie, we've talked about CeX. He's like, guys, I'm the original pop-off player. I'm the one that everyone talks about. Give me my shot, and I will deliver. And oh boy, did he deliver. There was the goal that we just saw. That would have been disappointing if that was the one to win the game. Instead, we got this. This was more than deserving to win a game like this.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
This has been brilliant. What are you talking about? The goal, the game, the series, the day, any of it could apply, man.
Wow. I mean, the fact that SMPR have come back here really does, I think, prove that they have got what it takes to just fight back. We always knew Endpoint had this potential under the pressure of a grand final, and it was a doubt for SMPR because we see some comebacks. We've seen it, we've seen even in this tournament, they have managed to come back from behind and win in the Swiss stage, but to do this against Endpoint in the grand final is a whole different, task and a whole different accomplishment. So credit to them. Now it's all about finishing the job and getting that clean reset, leading us into that one last best of 7 for the entire event.
You know what? I'm not supposed to be biased, but I really want it. So we'll see how things go over here. But for SMPR, they'll want it even more than I do. All they are away is 5 more rock-solid minutes of Rocket League. If they can maintain their composure, their discipline, and this level of creativity that we're finding for the goals that they've scored, very well be on their way for a 3rd series. And this is the first time that CeX, despite his best efforts, he's now been about 2 or 3 games much quieter.
Yeah, he has been a while.
How is he not putting that in? Okay, there you go, Relating Wave. Oh, dearie me.
Well, yeah, he has been quiet, but now finally a chance comes. He actually didn't want to throw himself at that one because he's not sure as he's jumping if Archie's got one other touch on the ball. So CeX actually had to wait, see exactly what's happening, and make it easy for Relating Wave to score as he comes in behind him. So really good placement there by CeX, actually hitting the flat part of the post. If that hits the inside of the post, who knows? Maybe the recovery will come through for the defender. Well done by Endpoint. Relating Wave coming forward, getting stuck in the attack. And CeX getting some goal participation. We've not seen the same kind of numbers he put up earlier in the series, but that speaks more to the numbers he was putting up earlier in the series.
My eyes are just darting around everywhere at the moment. Is it going to be a pass through a redirect? Are you just trying to shoot on net so that way the player downfield is capable of just hitting the defending player midair? We've got to the level of Rocket League now where it used to be two players waiting for their chance, one player looking to cause any sort of havoc that they can. Now all three players on both teams are doing everything they can to be efficient. Seiko, he's got himself onto the board. Last one he had to relieve for Relating Wave. This one he can take for himself.
Goodness.
And at this rate, Champions Field could be inevitable.
This guy is just such a fiend. SMPR can't really consistently keep him back. He's faked a fast aerial here, gets a reset on the ball while controlling the mid-air 50-50. That just makes it impossible for CeX to space for the challenge. And CeX, unfortunately for him, coming in from the far side means that getting across the goal is difficult for that far post save. Seiko accelerates himself with the wave dash and the landing, makes it completely out of reach. 2-0 Endpoint.
2-0 Endpoint, 3.5 minutes left. Lots of time for SMPR to show off even more of that grit that they have been very, very capable of showing throughout this series. Seiko wants to try and add another. Put that right into the path of CeX. Just wanted to see if a lack of angle would mean CeX would get a bad touch. Oh, Relating Wave! You don't need communication for something like that. That's telepathy.
He just knows that the opponents are going to respect another touch for Seiko, and he could see from his angle that there wasn't actually going to be another touch. Seiko continues moving towards the ball anyway, fakes out the defense. They all think he's going to be the one hitting it. Don't see Relating Wave coming from the defensive blind spot. Endpoint lead by 3. It looks like we will be headed to game 7-0 unless we get a bit of a comeback here. He can't miss that one. Endpoint double commit, and that is a horrendous double commit because two players are flying completely off into the middle of nowhere. No fast recoveries, and an easy goal for Archie.
You can see Metzer didn't like that one. He's not smiling. That's probably the only time I've seen Metzer not smile throughout this entire thing. Is he not aware that he's going over to Champions Field if this stays where it is? Or will CeX give us one more? Relating Wave able to recover just in time. Endpoint will be more than aware of anyone else how quickly 2 goals can go the other way. They managed to score 2. Again, it looked like SMPR were throwing. That's SMPR looking to try and chase up. Seiko leaves it, gets the call from Relating Wave. Talk about the brilliant rotations and everything else that comes with the time that we've seen Metzer and Relating Wave stick together. They're going to get... Oh, wait a second. What is... How have you done that there, mate?
It's really well played by Archie to get around this and to manage to pop it to safety as well. Still in this one.
Strategy, just pre-flip everything. Pre-flip shots, pre-flip saves, pre-flip the kickoff. I think that's called cheating at that point, but still, you can give it a go.
Pre-flip the predictions on the desk.
I would love to see what the desk would say if we went over to that third series.
That's a tough one. I mean, you got to see the rest of this one, of course, but oh my goodness, Seiko.
I know what we are seeing. We are definitely seeing Champions Field. Seiko has added to his tally, and he's got himself another brace.
Wow, he's done quite well here to land on the far side of the ball here. The reset didn't really work out, but he still gets a favorable 50-50, and not for the first time this game. SMPR's immense respect for Seiko has caused him to concede. They're actually expecting so much out of this guy. It's causing them to pre-jump in a panic, but can you blame them? It's stuff that Seiko's produced today. Long way back now for SMPR. Definitely would have been better to do it right here, right now. Oh, watch this. What a touch and what a finish. Relating Wave gets there. Look at the deftest of assists from Seiko.
Okay. All right, I see your Endpoint. I'm sure as much as I want to see that third series, Endpoint They want anything but. And when you've got plays like that, who am I to argue against you? 5-1. And SMPR might not even need to burn a timeout right now because they've got 1 minute and 20 to figure out how they're going to go about Champions Field.
Yeah, very soon they might as well think about this as a
I wouldn't be surprised if
warm-up.
we see more goals because this is the sort of position where players kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. They go infield, not quite going to find the net. I do hope SMPR are talking this through whilst they've got the time to do exactly that. Seiko, has he got the hat trick? Nope. All right, being harsh right now, SMPR.
Yeah, we're trying to get some more goals for Seiko, really pad that stat, see if we can break some records, but SMPR don't want to be on the tail end of that record, of course. Can they bring out that midfield pressure that has worked for them in this series occasionally? Anyway, I say occasionally because they haven't really done it as often as I'd like to see, but will SMPR go out and try and win this last game when we get to it? Or are they going to just sit back and wait and see what happens, find out if Endpoint win or beat themselves? Because I'd love to see aggression from SMPR in the last game. They look good coming forward. I think they've got 3 players who are all great in attack when they strike the ball with confidence. Endpoint have so much more faith in each other and themselves at the big moments. And we will be headed to Champions Field, the second series here. SMPR on the ropes, Endpoint on match point.
And faith is a fantastic word to use because it is that faith that's going to now be required from SMPR. They need to allow themselves that level of faith to just send themselves forward. Go for the early challenge. You're going to be out of the play for a little while. That's where that trust is going to come in. You have to trust in those 2 behind you that they can keep the play going whilst you get back. If they can't do that, if they don't have that faith, it is going to keep giving Endpoint the sort of space that allows them to dismantle SMPR just like they did. Oh, dearie me. This has been fantastic. Champions Field on the way. Endpoint on championship point, an opportunity to get themselves their second tournament, the European Open and the European Grand Prix on their way over to Stockholm. Endpoint, this is one of those teams now, you might have got them somewhere pegged in your mind about, okay, outside team. You know, the 5th to 6th spot, get rid of that in your mind right now. They are right up there, but also they've got a SMPR that are performing above whatever we've seen from them before. What have they got? Champions Field to decide if this is all done now or if we've got to go for 7 more.
This is going to be a good one. It's all about Seiko in offense. It's all about Archie everywhere. Can the star players of their teams show up when the pressure reaches a climax? Endpoint have been here before. They beat BDS twice in Game 7. And they're already up in this Game 7 as well. Metza with a great read on his own forward touch. Puts them ahead, and playing with Seiko will be absolutely delighted to see that. What a read by Metza.
Yeah, 3 players around. Only one of them got the read right, and that was Metza over on the offense. 14 seconds was all it took. And the danger here for SMPR is we've seen Endpoint more than SMPR run away with games. It has been very rare that SMPR have managed to do that. But they're going to need to try and find a way back into this. Relating wave. Wow. Read from him. All right, Endpoint, they're feeling comfortable.
Oh.
They're almost got themselves into 2-0. Archie will clear. That would have been on target. That would have been in. Obviously, no way to quite know that before going for the hit. Now SMPR's first real opportunity at offense, and maybe for the first time, they had too many players too far forward.
What a read that was in the sidewall by Relating Wave, almost setting himself up for a second goal in the first minute here. And both of them would have been from players not named Seiko, so definitely against what we've been come to expect. Look at the control from Relating Wave defense. Mind games 1, outplays the second, offloads to a teammate. Doing it all, not for the first time today. Seiko easily able to beat his man as well. Endpoint looking like the stronger of the 2 teams in Game 7 so far.
Yeah, but that can move so quickly. It just takes one outplay or one blunder. And the momentum just shifts. Seiko has not shifted at all from 6th gear this entire time. Archie infield. There's Cassio. Ends up skying it. Shot set. Now Tasso keeping the pressure on. The first real chance here for SMPR. Have they got anyone available? No, Archie was getting bumped. He can't turn onto the ball. First real glimpse from SMPR. Now they've got to be careful.
Oh, that's not a good read by Cassio. He's recovered somewhat well, and Archie's there to help him out also, but that's a very surprising bounce that the Frenchman was not ready for. Endpoint still reading each other so well in attack. They're able to follow up on each other's touches with confidence and recover quickly as well. You compare that to SMPR, they're having to react a bit more. They're not reading each other as quickly as Endpoint are. Now Metza puts in a second. Miss came in from SMPR at the worst possible time. Metza's crunching clear, putting them under pressure. Cassio, unfortunately for SMPR, has crumbled.
Endpoint 3-0, undefeated in Game 7. They are looking to become the kings of clutch and also to become our champions. They're 2.5 minutes away. Archie looks to go for a setup, but that's not going to get out to Cassio. Now Tass the shot set. He's got it past one. Archie looks to go for it. A relating wave. Always in position. Always that steady hand. Drop off. Cassio to Archie. Into the net.
What play by SMPR. They are fighting back in the enemy half now. Chaussette drops it down to Cassio, sends it back post for Archie. And of course it would be Archie with the finishing touch, but look at the whole squad. Getting into aggressive positions and hitting Endpoint before they can react.
And not a moment too early either. 2.5 minutes still to go. And only a 1-goal deficit. And finally a bit of momentum over on the side of SMPR. They are 0-1 in Game 7 so far this season. Against a team that is currently undefeated. Cassio not able to find the ball. Seiko's going to take this under his own control. Immediately challenged. That's better from Cassio. This is a good position for SMPR to find themselves in. Oh, Cassio can turn. He looks for the first-time shot. And maybe for the first time in a while, it actually would have been better just to take the touch. Set up for the outplay on the 1v1.
SMPR getting caught out by all these defensive mind games. Now here's Metza looking for a hat-trick. He will get blocked by Archie. When it comes to the defensive end, SMPR are not falling for the mind games. When they're attacking, they're biting on every single one of them. Now that's almost open. Cassio will get the ball clear before it drops in front of the net. Less than 90 seconds to go. Endpoint still piling on the pressure. Not satisfied with that 1-goal lead.
Oh, it's a missed hit from Cassio. He's been struggling thus far. SMPR have been more open towards making mistakes. Archie, he's got shots set in the midfield. Can get anything set up in time. Plenty of options now to turn around. Fortunately, there's no boost over there to steal. Got back to Cassio. SMPR aren't going too quickly, though. I like this. Not taking half-hearted opportunities. So they know just how much that might mean to Endpoint because, well, they've got a player like Seiko there that is very happy to go for the across-map outplay. Attempt there for the pinch. 45 seconds left. Seiko on the ball, but not for too long. Off the backboard. Metznaris, cool as you like, takes control.
Yeah, what a game Metza's having. We knew he could show up under pressure on lands. He's done so before in the past, and that's the exact kind of player you want in these situations. 30 seconds left for SMPR. Chaussette not able to catch that forward pass. Metznaris going to carry on and just get more time wasted off the clock. Every single time the ball gets popped. That clock ticks closer to 0. Ticks closer to an Endpoint win. Seiko! Oh! He's done it again!
Could have been anybody else. Seiko has been unbelievable, unreal, unstoppable, and undeniable. 3-1 Endpoint. And they are looking like they just will not be under any measure of doubt. There's another one. Relating Wave gets himself on the board. Everybody has got a goal, and they are heading towards that European Grand Prix Championship.
Well, that just simply has to be it. A kickoff in SMPR's favor was needed at that point, and it's gone all wrong for them. You know, what a fitting end it would have been for Seiko Double to be the winning goal, but actually Relating Wave would rather a 50-50 into the net with his name on it. I don't think Endpoint mind. They've done it for the second time this split. 2 undefeated runs through the bracket. They knocked out BDS with 2-4-3 wins. They've gone one better against SMPR here, 4-2-4-3. These guys are demons once they reach the bracket. And I think everybody's an Endpoint fan after seeing the scenes on the face cams. no better place to be in the Rocket League scene right now than that boot camp. I'm sure they're going to have a great time tonight. But SMPR, what a fight they showed us. That is promising for their run to Sweden as well. Down, but not out. Couldn't produce the quality Endpoint did in the most important games. But to get to those games was impressive.
And SMPR are very valiant in the way that they performed here. Answered a lot of questions about them. But the only question that we will never ask again is if Seiko is a world-class player. We know that Seiko is a world-class player. Take a look at some of these highlights. Metza started it off, the veteran of the team, showing exactly why he holds that status. And whilst there was a resilient fight back from SMPR, there was plays like this. There's nothing you can do. We talk about positioning, we talk about veteran stats, we talk about game IQ, but there's always the intangible. Seiko's got that intangible, Johnny.
Yeah, and every team needs a player like that. And Endpoint have got one of the absolute best in the world. It's going to be a joy to watch him compete on the world stage. Europe, I'm sure, very confident in their #1 seed after seeing what they were able to produce today. What a prospect to see Seiko and to see Endpoint, to see Archie, SMPR go up against teams from all across the world. And the other teams as well. We've got Vitality, the Legends. Can they show up on LAN and produce a performance that is at a higher level than what they've produced online, as many people expect? Can BDS finally bounce back and get a win for the first time in this split? And let's not to forget all the wonderful teams from around the world as well. What a wonderful event it's going to be in just a few weeks' time.
I'm going to try my hardest to get rid of this big dumb smile on my face. I have loved every single moment of today, and I hope you have at home as well. But we are done over here. We have got Leaf and the rest of the European lads ready to break this down.
Yeah, I hope he does get rid of that. I'm more used to the scowl on Shogun. I think that's what we've all come used to. But anyways, nice flip there, Stumpy. And you flipped right into an Endpoint thing, and I am very mad that I've listened to you guys. I'm never doing that again.
I bet you feel so silly that you flipped, because Endpoint were obviously going to be winning from
Terrible
the start.
decision.
It was going to be a 2-0. I am so pleased for Endpoint. The journey that org has had throughout Rocket League has been ups and downs, and they are on the biggest high they have ever ridden in the entire tenure of that org. Seiko, I've seen it all over Twitter, all over Reddit. He has got something so special and so unique, and he is the X factor for them.
It was Endpoint. At the start of the season, we were saying which will be the team, in EU in particular, because apart from BDS for RLCS, it's so competitive. Who will be the team that steps up? I don't think any of us were saying Endpoint. As far as I can remember when we did predictions for who would reach the major, I don't think any of us even had Endpoint in our thoughts.
I think I did.
Did you? Were you the one? That's how unlikely it was.
I'm going to say
predicted it.
no, just in case I didn't, but I feel like I did.
And yeah, Endpoint are just beyond anything we predicted from them.
Yeah, that was quite a again a showing to grab two of them. I had always believed, and I have no idea why I let you guys convince me otherwise, but I've always loved the team, and I love that they're pulling through. We talk about Seiko specifically, Gregan. I mean, we don't have an official MVP to hand out, but in my heart, I don't know if you agree, I feel like this guy's earned that title. I don't know if I mean, all three of them play great, but Seiko for sure has been stepping up huge.
Yeah, what I really love about Seiko is the way he does his plays. It's so different to a lot of the other superstar players. We see them try and outplay, and then when it doesn't work, they rely on their teammates to clean up. Whereas Seiko has this way of turning the end of his play into a delivery to his teammates. The amount of times he turns it into a 50-50 at the end, and it just falls down for a teammate. He's very team-oriented in his outplays, and he's incredible at it. And I think that's what we've got to really watch out now for, is these top players like Archie, for example. Incredible. In that second series, really stepped up, started to get 600 plus points a game, but he really shined when he was setting up his teammates. I think he needs to work on that side of his gameplay to really stand out as a superstar.
And again, just looking at the rest of the roster, I mean, we've been talking about Metzenaris and how fantastic he's been looking, Stumpy, as well. Just he's definitely put the work in mechanically to make sure that he's keeping up with everyone else in the region.
He is well and truly back. For any new fans of Rocket League, you might know the name Metzonoras from previous seasons. He had repeated grand finals appearances in the RLCS, repeated top fours, like for seasons in a row. And then he had a bit of a downturn. He was dropped from previous teams. He then wasn't having the best time of his life. And then he has come back in the most spectacular way possible. We've spoken to Greg and Johnny about this in particular, and he has rebound his air roll controls. As simple as it sounds, to air roll left and air roll right. His mechanics since that change it's just been such an exponential climb up. And the fact that he is now hanging on with the top of the most mechanical players in Europe and is looking at CeX and saying, I could also do that, makes Endpoint one of the scariest teams. It's all-round players. They've got the experience. They've got the mechanics. They've got the psychology behind them. They have the LAN hype. I tweeted that, hey, this team could win the major, but I really feel like they could win the major.
100%. Well, they'll have to look forward to that. Right now, they've gotten at least this regional, a second regional under their belt, and that's a good sign for the future going into that major. But to talk about their uprise here and looking forward, Seiko, the legend, is actually joining us on the line right now. Seiko, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you, guys.
I want to know if you guys thought that you'd be getting another one, and that you already got one. Did you think that you would win another one in this split specifically, with how good all the teams are in Europe?
To be fair, we won the first. The second, we do a top 9. We don't go on the playoff. So I lose a bit of confidence, and we go again on bootcamp. And I see we play good in the semi-final. So the finals, we don't have a reason to not win, and we won. So that's insane.
Well, I mean, bien joué, mon ami. It was amazing to see you guys playing on boot camp again. And I know for you really wanted to get back into that boot camp environment with your teammates. What is it that you find so special about boot camp?
I think it just we are. Why you do that? we just I don't know. We are so focused, we are together, so we don't tilt, we don't how we say that? We don't panic, that's really more easy to play in bootcamp than in the house. Like first, for me, when I play in my house, I panic so much compared when I play in the bootcamp, so.
It's good. It's definitely in the right direction, especially with the major coming up. I got a couple of questions for you, Seiko. One, have you competed at a LAN before? And two, depending on that answer, how excited are you to go to Sweden?
That's pretty good, and we won the regional, so more confident for going in Sweden. But really excited, and let's try to win this tournament too.
Focus.
I mean, right now, you guys are sitting at the top of Europe. You have got 792 points, 11 points clear of Dignitas. At the start of the season, you were the pickup for Endpoint. You were what was going to change that team. Did you imagine that your first season of the RLCS would have you sitting at the top of Europe? And how does it feel now that you're there?
I really did not expect that. I mean, for me, when we do the first top 8, I'm be really happy because that's what I want to do. And now we just went to regional, so that's insane. And I'm really happy for my first RLCS to do that.
Yeah, imagine like that. The first time in, and you're at the top. That's all you've known is being the best now.
Yeah, and improve myself too. So for the future, that's cool.
It really is. It really is, man. Seiko, I want to give you the floor right now. It's all yours. If you want to do it in French, if you want, or English, but you can shout out to anybody you want since you guys won.
I have no idea what you say.
If you'd like to give any shout outs, you can do that.
Oh, okay. Let me thank you, Endpoint, all the people support us, and just let's get it for the major.
Congratulations, Seiko. Thank you for joining us, and good luck at the major in Sweden.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.